like we will resume play here. Other games coming up here is later today as North Glen will take on Dubuque Wahlert at 4 o'clock right here on Diamond 1. Coconut Valley will take on North Fayette Valley at 2:15 over on Diamond 3, which is the GNB Bank Field. Beckman and Crestwood, we mentioned that one. We'll have that one for you here on KMCH. Independence will be taking on Williamsburg also at 2:15. And then we'll have the last West Delaware game at 4 o'clock. And the winner of this game between Linn-Mar and West Delaware will take on the winner of Cascade and Lansing Keyhigh. Is going to second is Ellie Schumann. The Hawks throw down to third and just about threw the ball away did Leah Wegman. So runners on second and third now, one away here. Linn-Mar leading 5-0. And the batter is Ray Van Milligan, and it's a called strike, and the count is even 1-1. Van Milligan reached on an error in the first inning and was stranded out at third base. The 1-1 to Van Milligan is hit out to short. Demmer can't come up with this one either. She bobbles it, and reaching first safely is Ray Van Milligan. The 6th run of the ballgame will score as Allie Johnson comes in to score. Going to third on that play was Ellie Schumann. The Hawks with just one out here. And now Coach Rave is going to have a meeting in the pitching circle, and Emily Klosterman will follow her. So we'll take a short break and come back for this pitching change. You're listening to Hawks Softball from KMCH Sports. To the Beckman Sports Complex, Jamie Maskey, John Swisher, and Austin West along with you today. We'll hear from Austin in a bit as he'll give us an update on the game going on Diamond 3 as Emily Kolsterman in for the Hawks. As going to second base there is Ray Van Milligan. Hawks trailing 6-0 here. We're in the top of inning number 2, only one out here as the Hawks have been filled with errors. 2 in the first, 2 errors here in the second. And the 1-0 to the new left-handed batter is Charlie Patton is taken for a ball, 2-0 the count.
Emily Klosterman, the new pitcher, she struck out 13 batters in that 6-1 win over Edco yesterday to start the tournament for the Hawks in the 10:45 game yesterday morning. That ball upstairs there. The count's now 3-0.
I'll need Emily to find the strike zone here.
And can't do it. Upstairs, ball 4.
So Emily, first batter she faces, she puts on with the 4-pitch walk. So I believe with Patton getting on, we'll see if we see Chloe Skidmore head out to courtesy run at first base. As Coach Bagley talking with home plate umpire there. Now we're going to get a different runner, as this is going to be
21.
Number 21, Briley Burning.
Briley Burning, a sophomore.
So Riley Burning on here on at first. Bases loaded for Linmar. And the first pitch she sees, or the new batter sees, is going to be fouled out of play as Katie Smith, the pitcher of record here, fouls this one out of play. As our scoreboard says 5-0, it is 6-0. We'll try to relay that message. As this one's taken for a called strike, and 0-2 the count here on Katie Smith. As this one's skied out into left field. Going back is Wedower. She makes the catch. She's going to fire it home, and out is the call. So a double play as Eve Wedower from left field throws out Ellie Schumann on the 7-2 putout, and that is out number 3. So the Hawks give up 2. It's 6-0 as we go to the bottom of inning number 2. You're listening to West Delaware Hawks softball invitational coverage on Mix 94.7 KMCH. Take it. Back into the Beckman Sports Complex. Hawks trail 6-0. We're here in the bottom of the second inning. Heather Hines due up here for the Hawks. First 2 pitches to Heather taken for balls, and 2-0 is our count on the Hawks. Freshman second baseman as Allie Martin and Leah Wegman wait on deck as the 2-0 is taken for ball 3. So 3-0 the count on Heather Hines. And Linmar with 4 runs in the first, 2 in the second. The 3-0 to Hines is taken for a called strike. The Hawks, Macy Kleitch in the first inning flew out to center. Kyra Vatsky had a hit. Ella Kolak popped up to second, then Vatsky was thrown out, caught stealing as Heather Hines rips a shot out into left field to lead off the bottom of the second inning here for the Hawks, and that'll bring up Allie Martin. As Martin stands in, junior right fielder for the Hawks. Been hitting very well as of late. She's been very consistent at the plate so far this season for the Hawks. She got into that number 5 hole, and she's been very good at the plate ever since that as she shows bunt, gets it down right out in front of the plate. Third baseman Van Milligan comes up and throws on to second baseman for out number 1. So the 5-4 sacrifice for Allie Martin. Going to second on the play was Heather Hines. And that brings up Leah Wegman, Hawks catcher here in this first game. As Wegman stands in and awaits the first pitch, it is going to be just off the outside corner for a ball. 1-0 the count. Lansing Keyhigh leading Cascade 3-0 over on the Coleman Corey's field. The 1-0 to Wegman is taken for a called strike. Throw back to second, and now they got Himes in a rundown. As Heather Himes is going to be safe. She gets in as the shortstop. Or excuse me, not the shortstop. It was the second baseman, Allie Johnson, unable to get Heather Himes in that rundown. She chased her down. She never did throw the ball. And Himes makes it in safely after getting caught in that rundown. The catcher, Charlie Patton, threw it down to second, and Himes couldn't get back to the bag. And now our officials will talk it over as Coach Bagley wanted him to check with the home plate umpire, Dan Nauman. And they stick with the call as they usually do, and the count is 1-1 on Leah Wegman with Heather Himes on third base. Didn't like to see Himes get caught in the rundown, but it worked for the Hawks, and the 1-1 to Wegman is taken for a ball, 2-1 the count. Hit right side. It's going to be bobbled by the second baseman Johnson, and she tries to throw it and can't get Wegman. Full score. Wegman reaches first on the air by the second baseman Johnson, and the Hawks are on the board. It is 6-1.
Nice job by Leah putting the ball in play, putting pressure on the defense, and the Hawks able to get on the board now. And a mystery run up there.
No, I'm working on it.
As Peyton Lindauer settles in with designated player.
It's gone. Lindauer stands in as that is Kayla Felton, the runner out there at first, courtesy runner for Wegman. Felton, courtesy running for Wegman here in this game, is Peyton Lindauer. The first pitch to her is taken for a ball. The 1-0 is a called strike, 1-1 the count. Runner on first is Kayla Felton as Leah Wegman scored on the air, or reached on the air, excuse me. The 1-1 is taken for a ball, 2-1 the count. As Wegman, I believe, will be given an RBI for that as well, as the run did come into score, whether they got her out or not. As Lindauer hits a shot out into left field, left fielder takes a couple steps back. Marion Berry makes the catch. The F7 is out, number 2. So Claire Demmer will stand in now for the Hawks with 2 away. 1 run in, Hawks lead 6-1. Runner on first is Felton, and Claire Demmer stands in for the first time today. As she gets in and awaits the first pitch from Katie Smith. As Demmer, first pitch swinging, hits it out to the shortstop. Hanson, she throws to Allie Johnson. And the 6-4 putout will end the inning. But the Hawks score 1. We go to the top of the third. Hawks trail 6-1. And you're listening to Hawks softball invitational coverage on Mix 94.7 KMCH.
All right.
Back into the Beckman Sports Complex. Hawks trail 6-1. We're going to go to Austin West for an update of the Starmont Cedar Rapids, Washington game. Austin?
Well, we're here in the bottom of the second right now. Starmont leading 4-0. They had a very strong top of the second. scoring 3 runs on the Cedar Rapids, Washington team. Defense has been a strong factor here against Cedar Rapids, Washington. They haven't been able to hit too well around here, but this is very familiar to the Cedar Rapids, Washington girls, who had suffered a large deficit in the last game they played. So hopefully they can come back once again and maybe pull out a win here.
Thank you very much, Austin. As Carly Rima stands in here for Linmar to start this top of inning number 3, as Carly Rima grounded out to third her last time up, and she's got a 2-1 count on her. As the Hawks trailing 6-1 here, top of inning number 3, as Emily Klosterman in the circle for the Hawks, bunted back to Klosterman and thrown on to first, and she gets her girl. The 1-3 put out over to Klosterman to Kleitsch, and that is the first out of the inning, as Matt Weiss, West Delaware Athletic Director, joining me now. As there's one out here in the top of inning number 3, Hawks trailing 6-1.
Really great play there by Emily at the coming out of the circle there to get the ball, to really hurry it and get over to first base there in a real hurry.
Marion Berry stands in here for Linmar. Her second at bat of the game. She struck out back in inning number 1 to end the first inning. That 4-run first inning by Linmar, as she fouls this one out of play.
So far, Klosterman, since she's been in, has kind of settled the Hawks down a little bit. We're going to have to pick up the offense just a little bit here, though, and maybe pluck away and get a couple more here and cut this deficit in half by the end of the third, though.
Yeah, 4 runs in the first for the Lions, and then 2 in the top of inning number 2. As our score at 6-1, as the Hawks scored in the second inning as well. 2-1 the count on Marion Berry. As Klosterman comes set and delivers and swing and a miss, strike 2. So the count is even now on Berry, 2-2. Nice pitch there by Emily Klosterman coming in relief here, as in that first inning, Macy Kleitsch found the going a little tough, as this one's hit out to shortstop, gets by the diving Claire Demmer and out into center field. Vasky will get it back in, and a 1-out single for Marion Berry, and that will take us back to the top of the order. And then we will see Kennedy Rentschler, as Rentschler stands in here 1 for 2 in this game, reached on an error to start the game and scored. She singled and scored in the second. She stands in on the left side of the plate here, and with a runner on first, Klosterman's first pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1 the count.
Good job of hitting the outside corner there by Emily.
As Dan Nauman, he calls strikes, but up here you don't hear it, and you have to wait for his call, as this one's bunted, slapped at back to Klosterman, and she throws on to first, but it will be an error on Emily Klosterman, as she can't handle that one. And the 5th error of this ball game so far for the Hawks.
The Hawks just at this point have not shown that they've come ready to play today, Jamie. I think that tight loss yesterday to Williamsburg, might have had a little bit of the mindset coming in today, but they're going to have to pick it up a little bit here.
So runners at first and second. That's going to bring on Ariana Roll, as she shows bunt, pulls it back. 1-0 the count. She's bunted twice and reached safely both times, as the speed of Roll, she's already got that advantage being in the left-handed batter's box, has allowed her to get down the line very quickly. A nice catch by Leah Wegman as she dives and makes the catch. So a pop-up to Wegman is out number 2. Laying out for it and making the catch is Leah Wegman. And there are 2 away now, and the number 3 hitter, Allie Johnson, stands in.
Interesting, they had Roll there in the second spot. She led off in both games yesterday for them, and it's pretty successful for those guys.
As Johnson stands in and awaits the first pitch from Emily Klosterman. It's taken for a called strike, 0-1 the count. As Johnson is 1 for 1 in this game, walked and scored in the first, singled, had an RBI single, and scored in inning number 2. As Klosterman's 0-1 is on the inside part of the plate, and the count will be 0-2. 6-1 is our score in favor of Linmar.
This will be a big inning for the Hawks here if they can get out of this without letting Linmar score.
The 0-2 to Johnson is taken outside, and the count is 1-2. Lansing Key leading Cascade now 4-0. That game in the third inning. There's this 0-2 to Johnson, swung on and hit out into center field. Vasky comes in and dives for it, but can't come up with it. And scoring the 7th run of the inning is Marion Berry. So a 7-1 lead here in favor of the Lions. Going to second is Kennedy Rentschler, and Johnson with her second RBI of the game. An RBI single for her, as Ellie Schumann will stand in for Lindmar now, as she bats left-handed as well. A lot of lefties on this Lindmar lineup, and the first pitch to her is taken for a strike.
You know, last one, that little pop up there to short center field, that's a play that I think generally Denver's going to make it shortstop. I think the sun played around with her a little bit there. The ball was up in the air for a long time, and looked like she was trying to battle the sun a little bit there. That's just a play that you would hope that the Hawks can make most days, and it's just the way things have been going so far this game.
Swung on and missed. The count is 0-2 on Schumann. Takes this one low for a ball, and 1-2 the count. 2 away here, top of inning number 3. Hawks trailing 7-1. Their first game of the day, they'll play back-to-back right away at 4 o'clock. They'll play at 4 o'clock. As game scheduled for 2:15, we'll have the Beckman-Crestwood game for you here on KMCH. Hawks will play at 4 o'clock. Klosterman comes set. The 2-2 is going to get away from Wegman. And a wild pitch there allows the runners to move up to second and third. Moving to third is Kennedy Rentschler. Going to second is Allie Johnson. See if Emily can get out of this, as there's a full count now on Ellie Schumann. And the full count pitch is going to be hit left side. Claire Demmer moves over, and the shortstop makes the catch for out number 3. Lindmar gets 1. They lead it 7-1. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. You're listening to Hawk Softball from KMCH Sports.
We had 2 hits there.
Back into the Beckman Sports Complex. Jamie Vasky, Matt Weiss, John Swisher, Austin West. We've got them all up here today as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. Hawks trailing 7-1. Eve Wedewer, the number 9 hitter for the Hawks, will lead off here for the Hawks in this bottom of the third inning.
It's going to be a big inning here for the Hawks. They're going to need to score plate at least 2, if not 3 runs this inning here to get back into this game, Jamie.
First pitch to Wedewer is taken for a called strike. 0-1 the count. The Hawks with 1 run back in the second inning, as Lindmar with 4 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. As Wedewer hits this ball right side, Allie Johnson struggles with it, but she corrals that ball and throws on to first for out number 1. So Wedewer's retired, and the Hawks will go back to the top of the lineup, and Macy Kleitsch will stand in here for the Hawks. As Kleitsch hit a ball her first time up in the first, out to center field. Ariana Roll came in a couple steps and then had to take back off and go out, and she made a great leaping catch to retire Kleitsch, as the first pitch from Katie Smith is taken for a ball. 1-0 the count on Kleitsch. As she digs back in, and Smith comes set. The 1-0 is going to be fouled left side, and the count is even now, 1-1. And Matt, Swish and I talked earlier today about that Ford Drive for Your School that they did yesterday, and Ford will give up to $6,000 and approximately $5,300 as Kleitsch flies this ball out into left field. It's going to be caught out there by Marion Berry. For out number 2, Kyra Vasky will stand in. So to get almost the maximum is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was awesome. Great turnout here, not only by the people at the softball tournament. We had multiple people from the community to show up in the parking lot, sign up, take a test drive of their Ford. I think we ended up with a grand total of 268. We were hoping for 300, but we will definitely take that 268 and raise a little over $5,000 and really appreciate the Manchester community for helping out the Athletic Booster Club.
Vasky grounds to short. Hansen throws on to first and retires Kyra Vasky, and that will do it for the third inning. We go to the fourth. Hawks trail 7-1. We're back after this from KMCH Sports. Back into the Seedorf Masonry Field. Jamie Vasky, Matt Weiss back along with you. And studio producer today, Sheely McMahon. As we go to the fourth inning, Hawks trailing 7-1. And Ray Van Milligan will stand in here for Linmar to lead off this fourth inning as Van Milligan takes a ball, 1-0 the count. Emily Klosterman in the pitching circle for the Hawks here. Macy Kleitz, I should have mentioned, she did go to first when she came out, when she was pulled from pitching. So Taya Demmer, who was playing third base, is back in the dugout now as the 0-1 is taken, or 1-0 is taken for a strike, and this 1-1 is swung on and missed, strike two. So 1-2 on Ray Van Milligan. She's 0 for 2 in this game. She's reached twice, both on airs. As the 1-2 is swung on and missed, strike three, the ball gets away, and Wegman will throw it down to first base. The K2-3 on that one will be out, number one.
Really good change up there by Emily Klosterman to get the hitter out front there and really fooled her.
So Charlie Patton will stand in now for Linmar. She's 1 for 1 in this game. And the first pitch to her is taken for a called strike, 0-1 the count. Patton had an 2 RBI single back in inning number 1, walked and was stranded back in the second. She bats here with 1 away in the fourth inning. Hawks trailing 7-1. Left-hander Patton watches the 0-1 in there for a called strike 2, so 0-2 the count. So, Matt, you mentioned it. Emily's really settled things in here for the Hawks since that first inning.
Yeah, I'm not sure when she came in exactly how many of those runs were attributed to her in that 2-run second inning for them, but she's pitched well for them so far.
As the 0-2 is taken for a ball, 1-2 the count now on Patton. As she stands back in, and Klosterman's 1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. So back-to-back Ks for Emily Klosterman, and there are 2 away, and that'll bring up Katie Smith, pitcher of record for the Lions here, as she stands in from the left-handed batter's box. I should count how many lefties they've got in this lineup.
And this is definitely more than they had yesterday. Mixed their lineup a little bit, and I think this is at least the third they have right now so far.
I talked to Coach Bagley. He said most of the girls that he's got on his substitutes will more than likely play, and we've seen 2 extras here already. And Skidmore and Burning, as first pitch is a strike. This one is outside, and the count is even 1-1. On Katie Smith, as Carly Rima stands in the on-deck circle for Linmar. This one's hit left side, Demmer up. She's going to play tough play, and she makes the play, throws on to first for out number 3. So the Hawks set the Lions down in order as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Hawks trailing 7-1. You're listening to Hawks softball tournament coverage from KMCH Sports.
Good luck.
Back into the Hawks Softball Invitational. Jamie Vansky, Matt Weiss, and Austin West along with you. John Swisher roaming the grounds of the Beckman Sports Complex somewhere. As we're back in the bottom of the fourth inning, Hawks trailing 7-1. Ella Kolak, first pitch she sees is skied into center field. Coming on and making the catch is Ariana Roll. Austin West has an update from the Starmont and Cedar Rapids, Washington game. Austin?
Well, once again, defense, very large factor in this game. Cedar Rapids, Washington still has not scored, and Starmont has only added one more run to their score, making it a 5-0 game. We're at the bottom of the third inning, and you can kind of see that Cedar Rapids, Washington is starting to lose a little confidence in themselves, but hopefully they can get the bats rolling again.
Oh. Thank you, Austin. As Heather Himes hits a line shot to the left side, Ray Van Milligan makes a leaping catch and goes right into her glove for out number 2. So quickly 2 away here for the Hawks, and Allie Martin will stand in. Hawks trail 7-1 over on the Coleman Quarries field. It's now 6-0 in favor of Lansing Keyhigh. In the winner of this game between West Delaware and Linn-Mar, will play the winner of between Cascade and Lansing Keyhigh at 4 o'clock. The 2 losers of those games will face each other over on the G&B Bank field at 4. This one's hit left side. Van Milligan up and over, and safe is the call as Martin beats that one out. So Allie Martin with the infield hit there. So with 2 away, Leah Wegman will stand in with a runner on first.
Does a great job getting down the line there, because Van Milligan has really shown a great defensive third baseman she is, not only today, but yesterday made a couple of great diving stops in their first game. When they played North Fayette Valley yesterday in the first game, had a couple of great diving stops and throwouts. And, and Ariana Roll out there in center field, I can't talk enough about how great of a center fielder she is defensively. It looks like we had, 2 easy F8s in the book, but both plays for the first 2 outs here for the Hawks were just fantastic plays by the Linn-Mar defensive players.
First 2 pitches to Wegman, 1 a strike, 1 a ball, and this one on the inner half is called strike 2. So 1-2 the count on Leah Wegman, as Wegman 0 for 1 in this game, had an RBI but reached on an error back in inning number 2, which plated the Hawks' only run of this game as they trail 7-1. As the 1-2 to Wegman is taken upstairs, ball 2. So 2-2 the count with 2 away, a runner on first, Allie Martin. As Peyton Lindauer waits on deck here for the Hawks. And the 2-2 is going to be hit out in the left field. Left fielder Marion Berry will come over and make the catch for out number 3. So we go to the 5th inning. Hawks trail 7-1. And we're back after this from KMCH Sports. Back into the Beckman Sports Complex. Hawks trail 7-1. We go to the 5th inning. Leading off for Linn-Mar is Carly Ryman, the lefty. Stands in here, and the first pitch is taken for a called strike. 0-1 the count on Ryman. As Carly Ryman 0 for 2 in this game. Grounded out twice, once to Kolak and once to Klosterman. as she bunts this one right side, picked up by Himes. She throws on to Kleitch for out number 1. The 4-3 put out there. We'll bring up Miriam Berry as Berry stands in here, 1 for 2. Struck out swinging in the first. Singled and scored back in the third inning.
Really good heads-up play there by Heather Himes. She was already charging in before the pitch was even thrown. Was ready for that bunt and made great play there by Heather.
As the first pitch to Miriam Berry is taken for a ball, 1-0 the count. Linmar out of Class 5A. As the 1-0 is outside, ball 2. 2-0 the count on Miriam Berry. As the top of the order waits on deck, and Kennedy Rentschler. Klosterman's 2-0 on the way, and it's taken for a ball. 3-0 the count. So got to have Emily find that arm slot she's looking for, try to get back into this count. As she falls behind here, 3-0. This one's taken for a called strike, and 3-1 the count. See if she can come all the way back here now. Try to get Berry as there's 1 out. First batter of the inning, Carly Rima, was retired. 3-1, swung on and missed, strike 2, so the count is full now. So great job here by Emily Klosterman to battle back and work this to a full count after starting the at-bat with a 3-0 count. Now the 3-2 is going to be taken high for ball 4. So Miriam Berry aboard with the walk. As third walk taken by Linmar in this ballgame. As I mentioned, takes us back to the top of the order. Miriam Berry, one of the rare right-handed batters that Linmar has in their lineup, as Kennedy Rentschler stands in here from the left side. First pitch to her is going to be fouled out of play. And the count is 0-1. As they get a new ball from home plate umpire Dan Nauman. Dan Murray, the umpire, out on the bases here for this game. The 0-1 swung on a miss, strike 2, so Emily quickly up 0-2. Quickly up 0-2 on Kennedy Rentschler. And she comes with the 0-2, followed straight back. And Rentschler stays alive, and the count will remain 0-2 with the runner, Miriam Berry, out at first base after drawing a 1-out walk.
Yeah, get outside of that walk. Klosterman still coming in pitching well so far. She's definitely been
The 0-2's hit out into right field. Allie Martin moves a couple steps to her right and makes the catch for out number 2. So quickly 2 away here. Runner still at first, and that'll bring up Ariana Roll, as she's been aboard twice. She's 2 for 3 in this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, Klosterman there, kind of one of the small rays of sunshine so far in this game for the Hawks. If she can start coming on and pitching well, that's going to just be big things for the Hawks here towards the end of the season, because they could definitely use another arm there in the circle this year.
As Roll stands in, and first pitch, she slaps at that one and fouls it back. And the count is 0-1 on her. She scored in the first inning after reaching on a bunt single. The bunt single in the second inning, and was gunned down at the plate by Kyra Vasky on a pop fly thrown out by Kyra Vasky on a single by Allie Johnson, as the 0-1 is taken for a strike. 0-2 the count now on Ariana Roll. She swings at this one and fouls it straight back. Roll, the slap hitter, out of that left-handed batter's box for Linmar. And Klosterman way up here, 0-2. See if she can get her to chase one here, as the Lions lead this game 7-1. Hawks need to get the bats going here, as we're here in inning number 5, top half, and this one's taken high for a ball, 1-2 the count.
Yeah, it's just been the kind of the Hawks struggle all weekend here too, is just getting runners and keeping innings going for a long time. We haven't done a whole lot of extra run scoring outside of 1 or 2 any of the innings this weekend.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3, so Roll retired, and that does it for the 5th inning. Hawks trail 7-1. We go to the bottom half. You're listening to West Delaware Hawks softball invitational coverage from KMCH Sports. Citizens. into the Beckman Sports Complex, along with in-studio producer Sheila McMahon, Jamie Vasky, Matt Weiss back along with you, Austin West. Watching games behind us, Starmont and Cedar Rapids, Washington. 6-0 over on the Coolman Corey's field. Lansing Key leading Cascade. Starmont leads 5-0 over on the GMB Bank field. And here in front of us, West Delaware trails 7-1 as Peyton Lindauer leads off for the Hawks here in the bottom half of inning number 5. As the 1-1 is the count on Lindauer. She swings and fouls this one off of her leg, and the count is 1-2.
Prodigal son has returned.
Part-timer is back. The Hawks trail 7-1 here. Lindauer, Demmer, and Wedewer due up for the Hawks in this 5th inning. The 1-2 to Lindauer's popped up. Right in the pitching circle is Katie Smith. She makes the catch for out number 1. As Claire Demmer will stand in now. As Claire is 0 for 1 in this game. She hit into a fielder's choice to end the 2nd inning. Stands in here for the 2nd time. Here in the bottom of the half of the 5th inning with 1 out. First pitch to Demmer, swung on, fouled off of her leg, and the count is 0-1. Again, our next game will be right after this. It'll be Crestwood and Beckman at 2:15 over on the Coolman Corey's field.
That's an opportunity to be a really good game, Jamie. Both teams have been playing well this weekend, and obviously Beckman with a really impressive win over Key High yesterday to last game of the tournament to finish up last night.
Demmer hits this ball back up the middle, so a 1-out single for Claire Demmer, and that'll bring up Eve Wedewer. So the Hawks, with just their 4th hit of this ball game, have a runner at first with 1 out, and the number 9 hitter, Wedewer, stands in 0 for 1, grounded to second her first time up. She stands in and awaits the first pitch from Katie Smith, taken in there for a called strike 1, 0-1 the count on Wedewer. Left fielder for the Hawks here in this game. As she will stand back in and await this 0-1 from Katie Smith. That's going to be hit left side, and it's going to get foul. And the count will go to 0-2. See if Eve can get a spark here as Demmer with that hit, that 1-out single up the middle. See if Wedewer can try to move her over here. Keep the Hawks alive in this inning. Just 1 out. They trail 7-1.
He's done a lot of that slapping here in the past. Two strikes. She's done a lot more of just sitting back and trying to hit the ball, and looks like that's what she's going to do here as well.
Yeah, Eve, when she swings away, she's got a very pretty swing. Sometimes you wonder if she gets a hold of it and squares it up. It could go a long ways as the 1-2 is taken for a ball, and the count is even 2-2 now. And, of course, our 4 o'clock game will feature West Delaware. Depending on where they are at, they'll play either the winner or the loser of Cascade and Lansing Key High. The 2-2 to Wedewer is going to get out into right center field and gets past Ariana Roll. Demmer on her way to third. She's going to get set here, and Wedewer will be in there with a double, an RBI double for Eve Wedewer. Scores Claire Demmer, and the Hawks have cut into this lead. It's now 7-2.
A great job, 2-strike hitting there by Eve Wedewer. Ball gets by Ariana Roll. That's kind of, not like her. Great defensive player there in the center field, but like you said, that's a great spark for the Hawks. We can get another one here, played another one, cut the lead there, 7-3. It's going to be a good inning here for the Hawks.
As Macy Kleitz, the leadoff hitter for the Hawks, stands in here. She's 0 for 2. She flew out twice, once to center, once to left, and the first pitch to her is taken for a called strike, 0-1 the count. As she stands back in, does Macy Kleitz, and the 0-1 from Katie Smith on the inner half, and the count is now 0-2. As Smith doesn't waste a lot of time in that pitching circle. She comes right back with the 0-2. Off-speed pitch, stays upstairs, and the count is now 1-2.
Eve getting a pretty decent lead out there on second base. Going to absolutely have to watch. Patton's already shown that she's got a pretty good arm there in the catcher's position.
The 1-2 hit out in the left field. Left fielder Marion Berry is there waiting for it. As she throws it back in, a high throw to Ray Van Milligan. But it's hauled in by Van Milligan, and the F7 is out number 2, and now Kyra Vasky will stand in with 2 away. Runner out at second is Wedewer, and the Hawks trailing 7-2. as Katie Smith set to deliver the first pitch here to Kyra Vasky. And that's going to be low for a ball, and 1-0 the count on the Hawks' lone senior center fielder.
Yeah, obviously this is going to be Kyra's last Hawk tournament. Probably isn't the way she wanted to go out yesterday with losing to Williamsburg, but let's see what she can do here now and against a good 5A school and see if she can bring the Hawks back here.
The 1-0 is taken for a ball. 2-0 the count now on Vasky. Cedar Rapids, Washington, as they are on the board. As Starmont still leading that game 5-1 behind us on the G&B Bank field. The 2-0 to Vasky is on the inner half, called a strike. So 2-1 the count on Kyra Vasky.
We're at the Coleman Quarries field. We're still 6-0. Make that 7-0 now, Key High. In the top of the fifth.
Might actually be 8. That might have been the second run to come in. As Vasky grounds this left side, Van Milligan comes on, and she makes the throw over to first for out number 3. So the Hawks score 1. They trail 7-2. We go to the 6th. Listening to Hawk tournament coverage from KMCH Sports. Back in, Jamie Vasky, Matt Weiss, and Austin West along with you. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Hawks trail 7-2. Austin, you've got yourself quite a little ball game going on over there between Starmont and Cedar Rapids, Washington.
Yeah, Cedar Rapids, Washington has come back now, cut into the lead a little bit during the 3rd inning. It is now 5-3. They scored 3 runs there and held Starmont at the beginning of that inning to no runs. So it's getting more of a game now. So Cedar Rapids, Washington is looking to hold them more and score some more runs.
Thank you very much, Austin. As we're here in the top of the 6th inning on the Seedorf Masonry Field, as leading off here at the top of the 6th for Linn-Mar is Allie Johnson.
We have number 10. We have a sub here. Oh yeah, Allie Johnson. I'm sorry.
Right. I don't blame you. Reading that writing over there. Well, I guess that's my handwriting. It's not Swish's, so you should be good. 2-1 the count now on Allie Johnson. As Allie Johnson 2 for 2 in this game. She walked and scored in the first, had an RBI single and scored in the second, and had an RBI single in the third. She's been very busy on the base pass here for the Lions. As the 3-1 is that 2-1 was taken for a ball. The 3-1 fouled out of play. And the count will be full now. It's 3-2.
And Johnson having a great weekend here. A couple of big hits yesterday in their win over North Fayette Valley, and a couple of decent hits for them for her yesterday as well in their loss to Independence.
And the 3-2 from Klosterman is going to be fouled out of play again. Gets onto the roof over here. Might have to send Austin up, send someone out the window to get that one. I don't think it's going to make it. As the count will remain 3-2. Hawks trail 7-2. This one's hit left side, and it's going to get through right between Demmer and Kolak. So a leadoff single for Allie Johnson, and she's on for the 4th time in this ball game. And that will bring up Ellie Schumann, as Schumann stands in here 1 for 3.
Take a minute here on Monday night. The Hawks will welcome in Western Dubuque. It'll be our cancer awareness night. We'll have some silent auction as well as a few other things going on at the field. Ooh, and there's a ball hit over there to second base, Heather Heim. She bobbles it a little bit, and both runners now are going to be safe. With Truman there putting the ball into play. Once again, Monday night, the Hawks welcome in Western Dubuque. It'll be our cancer awareness night. We'd like to get as many people over to Sill Field as possible. Come out and support the Hawks and also, support a really good cause to raise some money here for cancer awareness.
And that ball hit out to second, an error on Heather Himes. Has runners at first and second. Still nobody out here. And that's going to bring up Ray Van Milligan as she stands in here. First pitch to her. She shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's a called strike. So 0-1 the count on Ray Van Milligan. As the 0-1 swung on and missed. 0-2 the count as Van Milligan has reached twice, both on air. So she's 0 for 3 in this game. Struck out back in the fourth inning. As she digs back in and awaits the 0-2 from Klosterman. This is going to be swung on, fouled out of play right side. Be interesting, Matt, to see if John Swisher makes a purchase in the silent auction for the third straight year, even though he is yet to be there for one of those purchases.
Yeah, I hope he does. If not, I'm pretty sure we can make that happen.
He usually buys something at the silent auction as the 0-2 here to Van Milligan is going to be hit in the air right field. It's going to be caught by Allie Martin. Tagging it, throwing a throw is Allie Johnson out at second base, but she retreats to second. And that'll be the first out of the inning for the Hawks, and Charlie Patton will stand in. So I've got it counted now, Matt. There are 6 lefties in that lineup. That is for Linmar. 6 out of 9, that left-handed. So one away here. Runners still on first and second, and Charlie Patton will stand in.
It is a pile of lefties for any team to have, let alone a softball team. Obviously, with the shorter 60-foot base pass in softball, that's a huge advantage to have that many lefties in your lineup.
As the first pitch here is a strike, 0-1 the count.
That Swish trying to get balls down?
I don't know who it is. Oh, that was a good one.
Heads up.
Oh, that one snuck through.
There comes another one this side, too. There's the foul balls going everywhere.
As the 0-1 to Patton is a strike as well, so 0-2 on her. And runners on first and second.
He's going after that far one there as well.
Yep, they're getting it.
0-2 pitch, a little high there. Ball 1.
And 1-2 the count. That one's going to sneak by, and they've got all the foul balls retreated from this diamond. 2 in a row right back there off the bat of Ray Van Milligan. The 1-2 to Charlie Patton is high for a ball, so the count is even 2-2.
Jamie, it's interesting how the shape of a week can change a team. I felt last week when the Hawks were at the Jessup tournament, probably some of the best softball they've been playing all year, and here we are a week later, and Hawks just not quite putting everything together as we get another K there by, Emily Klosterman. Charlie Patton taking the looking strike variety there with the backwards K. That would be number 4 on the day for Emily Klosterman, who has come into this game and really done well so far.
As this one's hit left side, Claire Demmer will step onto the outfield grass and make the catch for out number 3. So Linmar does not score. We go to the bottom half of inning number 6. It's 7-2. Linmar leads it, and we're back after this from KMCH Sports. Back into the Beckman Sports Complex. Ella Kolak leads off here for the Hawks. It's this ball out into center field. It's going to be caught by Ariana Roll for out number 1. Linmar leads at 7-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Kolak with a couple of big drives so far in this game, but both of them have been flyouts there to the center fielder. Makes it look kind of routine on these big fields, Jimmy, but I tell you what, those balls are going to be real deep balls in a normal size field.
Yeah, there's been some hit out to Marion Berry that is, like you said, on any other field, she makes them look. They do make them look routine, but they've been hit well. As this one's fouled away by Heather Himes, with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Himes stands in here. She's 1 for 2 in this ball game, as she singled and scored the Hawks' first run in the 2nd. Lined out to the 3rd baseman her last time up in the 4th, as this one is a ball, and the count is now 2-1 on Heather Himes. Himes awaits the 2-1. This one's hit in the air left side. Left fielder Berry coming in, and she will make the catch for out number 2. So 2 away here to lead off this inning for the Hawks, and Allie Martin will stand in. Allie 1 for 1 in the game. She had a sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd, which moved Himes to second base and scored the first run of the game for the Hawks, and she singled and was stranded back in the 4th. She stands in to face Katie Smith here, and the first pitch to Martin is just a bit high and for a ball, and 1-0 the count.
Ketchum has done a great job with the concessions out here today. She's volunteer of the year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
She's a valued volunteer.
Valued volunteer, Christy Ketchum.
You bet. Very valuable. 1-0 on Martin, as she stands back in and awaits the pitch from Katie Smith. Comes outside, and 2-0 the count here on Allie Martin. Playing well in right field tonight as well. As this one taken for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk here with 1 away. Martin on for the 2nd time here today. And that'll bring up Leah Wegman, as Wegman takes off the shin guards in the on-deck circle. She stands in. She reached on an air and had an RBI back in the 2nd. Flew out to left her last time up in the 4th. As the first pitch to her is taken for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Bill Logan has joined the booth here with us this afternoon. Can't wait to talk to him. We've talked about him plenty the last couple days, but now we get to talk with him.
Bill with an opportunity to see a really good baseball game last night between the Beckman Blazers and the Cascade Cougars. I believe Cascade coming out with the win last night, on a night that they retired number 11, Tom Jenks Jr.
1-1 is hit to the left side. 3rd baseman Van Milligan comes up, throws on to first, and the side is retired. We go to the 7th. Hawks trail 7-2, and you're listening to Hawks softball tournament coverage from KMCH Sports. Back into the Beckman Sports Complex. Hawks trail 7-2. 1-0 count to the leadoff hitter, Carly Rima, as Klosterman's 1-0 is going to be foul out of play, 1-1. Austin West joining us over at that GMB Bank Field. Austin, new score over there on that game between Starmont and Cedar Rapids, Washington.
That's right. We got Starmont now leading 6-3 in the top of the sixth. Is a very deja vu kind of game for Cedar Rapids, Washington, who were losing 6-3 just in their last game against East Buchanan. They ended up coming back to win that game 7-6, and they had a lot of runners on last inning. Seemed like they could have scored a lot, but they ended up getting the 3 outs and did not score many of them. So they're hoping to come back at the bottom of the sixth to get that 7-6.
Thank you very much, Austin. As the first pitch here to Carly, or the 1-1, to Carly Rima was popped up and caught over there by Ella Kolak as her and Emily Klosterman nearly collided there, and Klosterman gave way. As standing in now is the number 9 hitter, Marion Berry, as first pitch to her was a strike, 0-1. Now the 0-1 is taken for a ball, and the count is even 1-1, as Berry, 1 for 2 in this game, struck out swinging in the first, singled and scored in the third, and walked back in inning number 5, and the 1-1 is swung on and missed, and the count now 1-2.
Klosterman again doing a really good job here this game since she's come in, giving up a run there in the top of the third, but other than that has held the Limar Lions at bay.
Yeah, Emily has only given up 3 hits since she came in, so really, as Matt mentioned, has done a great job. 2-2 now on Berry, and this one's fouled out of play right side.
Yeah, I think we got 3 hits and 2 walks and only 1 run, so overall, really good outing by her so far.
Absolutely, as we will do the 2-2 over again. 1 away here, top of the 7th, Hawks trailing 7-2. The 2-2 to Berry is taken low for a ball, and the count is 3-2 now.
Emily's done a pretty good job too, as well. When she gets 2 strikes on her batter, she's hasn't really given them a ton of pitches to hit. Has done a good job of getting it, keeping it low and going outside. And there's again puts one inside and fouls it back, but doing a really good job of keeping the ball off the center of the plate.
2-2 is fouled out of play, or the 3-2, fouled out of play. So the count will remain 3-2 as Klosterman comes set. It's going to be swung on and fouled out of play again. So great battle here between Klosterman and Berry. One of the grounds crew members was just about to try to throw that ball back into place
through the net there.
8 ball would have been in for a rude awakening on that one. This is going to be ball 4. So Berry is aboard her second walk in as many at bats. And just like that, Emily Klosterman with a walk. We say good things about her. So, Emily, maybe this time you don't pitch. Yeah. That's the broadcaster's jinx there. As they go back to the top of the order, Kennedy Rentschler standing in here from the left side. As she hits this ball out of the left side, and it's going to drop. Claire Demmer was over there right along the line, but she couldn't come up with it. Great effort, but it drops, and Rentschler is aboard here.
There's a little dink there from, obviously that's floating away from Claire, coming from the left-hand batter's box there, and just made it fair past the infield onto the grass there. So,
as Coach Bagley coming out to have a talk with his number 2 hitter, Ariana Roll, as Roll will stand in here. Over on the Coleman Quarries field, Lansing Keyhi, the number 1 team in Class 1A, has exploded, and they lead now 11-0.
You got 4 runs here in the top of the 6th, and only 1 out over there still as well.
6th inning behind us. Starmont still leading 6-3. That game, as I mentioned, in the 6th inning, we'll get a recap of that game from Austin West when it concludes.
Looks like Cascade has switched their pitchers as well over there here in the 6th. That might give it a little indication on how Keyhi is exploding here just this inning alone.
As here on Ariana Roll, the first pitch to her is a ball. The 1-0 is down low as well, and the count is now 2-0 on Ariana Roll. She's been on a little bit of a roll here in this game. She started off 2 for 2, scored a run in the first. She struck out her last time. I didn't see.
You know, the liner right to Macy Kleitch, and then she stepped on the base, double play ball there.
So Kleitch with the line out there, steps on the bag and gets Rentschler out. So a double play ends the inning. So last chance for the Hawks as we go to the bottom of the seventh. They trail 7-2, and you're listening to Hawks softball from KMCH Sports. Back into the Hawks softball invitational. Jamie Vasky, Matt Weiss, and Austin West along with you. As we go to the bottom of the seventh, a ball and a strike here to Peyton Lindauer leading off. As she fouls this one off, and it'll be 1-2. Nobody out here. Lindauer, Demmer, and Wedewer due up for the Hawks here in the bottom of the seventh. Trailing 7-2. Got to get something going here to the Hawks as Lindauer stands back in and awaits the 1-2 from Katie Smith. This one's in the dirt. It skips to the catcher, Charlie Patton. And the count is even now, 2-2.
You know, Lindauer struggled a little bit at the plate so far today. A couple of flyouts. Good opportunity. As this one's going to be hit back to the pitcher, Smith. She throws on to first to get Lindauer for out number 1. Hard hit ball, but Smith picked it for the first out, and Claire Demmer will stand in here. As Demmer stands in here, 1 for 2 in this game. She scored the Hawks' second run back in the 5th inning. She takes this one for a ball, 1-0, the count on Demmer. One away here, bottom of the 7th. Hawks trail 7-2. John Swisher just returned to the booth. I think he was out there for about 5 minutes. He might need a towel, though. He's looks awful drenched out there.
Yeah. I feel like he took a nap somewhere. He just kind of took the game off here. 7-2. He's going to join his little buddy for game 2 here with Beckman. As this one's hit to the right side, picked up over there by Johnson. She throws on to first for out number 2. So 2 away here. Last out. The Hawks down to their last out now as Eve Wedewer will stand in. Eve had a RBI double her last time up, which drove in Claire Demmer.
2 more runs and played it over here by Keha. They've now opened it up to 13-0. Clayton 6 to the top of the 6th already.
As first pitch to Wedewer is taken for a ball, 1-0 the count. Cedar Rapids, Washington making it interesting over here on the GMB Bank field. 6-4 now. They got a runner in scoring position out at second base. The 1-0 to Wedewer is taken for a called strike, so 1-1 the count on her. John Swisher, Bill Logan will have the Beckman Crestwood game for you coming up following the Lansing Key Cascade game. Wedewer's going to hit this ball out into right field, and Eve Wedewer, her second hit, back-to-back hits for her in her last 2 at-bats, a 2-out single out to right field. That's going to turn it over to the top of the order for the Hawks, and Macy Kleitch will stand in for the Hawks. Macy finding the going a little tough here this whole game as she hits this one out deep left field. It's going to go foul as Macy had a hard time getting things going in the pitching circle. Also, she's flown out 3 times. She's 0 for 3, flew to center her first time up, and has flied out to left fielder Miriam Berry her last 2 times up. The 0-1 to Macy's hit out into center field right at Ariana Roll, and she flies out. Roll makes the catch for out number 3, and that will end the game. And the Hawks will fall in this game by a final score of 7-2. We will take a break. We'll add up our totals here and come back and wrap it up and get you ready for our 2:15 game semifinal between Crestwood and Beckman. You're listening to Hawk softball tournament coverage from KMCH Sports. Back into the Beckman Sports Complex, Jamie Vaskey. I want to thank Matt Weiss, Athletic Director of West Delaware, for joining me in that last game as the Hawks fall 7-2 to Linn-Mar. Over here on the Coleman Corey's field, Lansing Keyhi is going to win that game 13-0. That is where, that diamond right there is where Crestwood and Beckman will be playing. John Swisher and Bill Logan will have that game for you once they get that diamond cleaned up and redrug and lines put down. As in our game here, the Hawks fall 7-2 as they just couldn't come back from them first two innings, as Linn-Mar scored 4 runs in the first inning, 2 runs in the second inning, and added 1 in the third. But as Matt kept mentioning, when Emily Kosterman came in, she really settled things down as she threw a gem for just over 5 innings, as pitched outstanding since she came in. But then too much for the Linn-Mar Lions were too much. Those first 2 innings were too much for the Hawks to come back from, as the Hawks could only get 2 runs in that ball game. For West Delaware, they scored 2 runs on 6 hits, 1 Linn-Mar error, and left 5 runners on base. No strikeouts. The Hawks did not strike out in that game. They walked once and no hit batters. For the victorious Linn-Mar Lions, they had 7 runs on 10 hits, 6 West Delaware errors, and Linn-Mar left 10 runners on base, as Emily Klosterman with 4 strikeouts, Macy Kleitz with 1, so Linn-Mar struck out 5 times, 4 walks, and no hit batters in a ball game that lasted 1 hour and 37 minutes. So the Hawks fall to 1-2 on the weekend. They defeated Edco yesterday morning 6-1. They then fell 4-3 to Williamsburg, and here today they lose to Linn-Mar. They will now take on Cascade. The Hawks record now 15-10. They will take on Cascade over on the G&B Bank Field, so we'll have to probably move all of our equipment over there so we can see it. Yeah, we're going to get some microphones. Oh, that guy. All right, I like it. As the Hawks will play Cascade at 4 o'clock. Our next game coming up here will be Beckman and Crestwood, as John Swisher and Bill Logan will have that one. That's a semifinal, bottom half of the bracket semifinal. The other semifinal will be Independence and Williamsburg. That'll be on Diamond 1, the Seedorf Masonry Field. And then, of course, coming up at 4 o'clock, we'll have West Delaware and Cascade playing for 7th place. Linn-Mar and Keyhi will be playing for 5th place at 4 o'clock. And also at 4 o'clock, it'll be North Linn and Dubuque Wahlert playing for 9th place. And then, of course, we'll have Beckman again. Not sure, still unsure of who they're going to be playing, as they'll either play for the title or play for 3rd place, and that game will be at 5:45. So 3 more games on the schedule for you here tonight, as we will take a short break and come back with the start of that Beckman and Crestwood game. So for Matt Weiss, Jamie Vaskey saying so long for now. John and Bill will be back in with you in just a little bit. You're listening to the West Delaware Hawks Softball Invitational coverage from KMCH Sports.
And welcome back into the Beckman Sports Complex. John Swisher, Bill Logan, and Austin West. Glad to have you along as we get ready for Beckman and Crestwood. Before we start this game, Austin West just took in the game on game number 3. That marathon Starmont featured in is finally over. Starmont and Cedar Rapids, Washington. Austin, how'd that one finish up?
Well, it was all deja vu for Cedar Rapids, Washington, down 6-3 coming into the top of the 7th, hoping to pull off another win like they did before against East Buchanan. However, Starmont decided we're not going to end up like that and went on a rally to score 4 runs in the top of that 7th inning. And then after the 3 outs for them, Cedar Rapids, Washington got their 3 outs right away, not able to put up any more runs. Ended that game 10-4, Starmont Stars.
All right, 10-4, the final, as Starmont gets 13th place. As Beckman, thank you, Austin, Beckman and Crestwood. Lakin Leinhardt leads this game off with a ground out to the shortstop. Beckenstead makes the play over to Welling, and we have 1 away. Sidney Steffen is on the inside the circle here for Coach Ryan Meisner, Tom Tegler and company. Ball's fouled back off the bat of the lefty Ashley Voves, designated player. Steffen has been bothered by that collarbone injury, as there was a deep bruise in a game that back in Solon, late in the Solon game and early in the season, sliding back into first base. And that deep bruise has bothered her. Missed 6 games because of it and hasn't been able to pitch at her strength. Leading players coming back for Beckman on their team that went to the regional final last year, lost to eventual champion Regina. There's a floater into shallow center field. Coming on is Welling. She puts it away. The F8 for out number 2 is Shannon Pisney. Will stand in now.
Yeah, Beckman off to a nice start here, getting those first 2 batters out. Battle of 2 ranked teams here going at each other. The winner get themselves into the championship game. There's a foul down the right field line.
As Pisney will stand back in with 2 away here in the first inning. As Crestwood, a record of 12-7. They are ranked number 13 in 3A. Beckman 8-13.
And they're much better than that record. They had an 8-game losing streak there for a while, and that was part of when Sidney Steffen was hurt. She could bat, but she couldn't throw, and they had a couple of 8th graders throwing and getting some valuable experience, but unable to overcome some of those games and thus the record a little less appealing than what they'd like it to be. 1-2 to count now on Pisney.
Inside off the plate. Veteran officials from the Dubuque area. Dave King out on the bases. Al Stoltz behind the plate here in this game. This ball bounces past the catcher, and it did hit the batter. Wondering, looked kind of funky the way it misdirected there, and it hit the leg of the batter. Pisney, says home plate umpire Al Stoltz, and she'll take her place at first. Taylor Pekanowski will stand in now, the center fielder.
And Sidney Steffen, that's her 9th hit batter of the year. But, you know, you're going to have some of those when you try to control that inner portion of the plate. And that's what bothers me sometimes about some of those pitchers. When they don't have any hit batters, you've got to get on the inner portion of the plate where they can't really get good power, good stroke against you. There's a little fly ball out in short center field. Center fielder Welling comes in, makes the catch for out number 3.
And we go to the bottom of the first. This is area softball from KMCH Sports. And John and Bill back with you. The Beckman Sports Complex. We're in the bottom of the first inning now. Beckman will stand in. Rick Lucas is the batter, the second baseman for the Blazers. Against the starting pitcher, Lakin Leinhard. This is a Crestwood team we saw here in Manchester at Sill Field against West Delaware. They nipped West Delaware by 1 to go to a regional final. They ended up losing last year and were denied of a state appearance. They've been to 5 state appearances in the history of softball, 2 summer, 3 fall at Crestwood. Doug Sickles is the head coach, his 17th year as the head coach of girls basketball, too. He started softball program in 2002. In the bottom of the first inning, there's a chopper left side. Third baseman gloves it and guns to first to get her girl. The 5-3 ground out for out number 1 brings up Heather Beckenstead now. Defensively for the Cadets, Disney, Pekanowski, and the right fielder is Mast. Around the horn, Thomas, Pisney, Lentz, and Steffen. Reichs is the catcher and Leinhard the pitcher. I didn't write that one clear enough for myself. I had to rewrite it.
Oh,
that happens.
Can't even blame that on
that. Happens.
I'm impressed. I can't get blamed.
You should be impressed. There is a popper into right center field. The right fielder will field it, but not before a single off the bat of Beckenstead. A 1-out hit brings up Sydney Steffen now. The pitcher, Steffen, one of the juniors on this Beckman team. And Coach Tom Tegler resigned almost 2 weeks ago from the head position, stepping down, taking the assistant job. Ryan Meisner back in. 3rd season coaching. He spent 2008 and 2009 as the coaches. The stolen base there for Beckenstead. She continues to have good stolen base numbers as came into the tournament 26 of 26. And a couple of those yesterday in the Coconut Valley 11-1 win. They beat them, and then they beat Lansing Key last night, one of the final games here, 2-1. Exciting finish to get that victory. Shown bunt. Beckenstead going again, taking a strike with Steffen. But Beckenstead steals her way to third, and just like that, a runner in scoring position. What a weapon Heather Beckenstead is.
Well, and she did that because the batter, Steffen, turned around and scored the bunt. Third baseman come running in, so now it's just a foot race between Beckenstead and the shortstop. And as the shortstop's running, it's hard for the catcher to be able to maybe throw down towards third base, have her catch, and try to put a tag on. So alertly didn't even throw. They didn't even throw down the second when she stole second. So nice job taking that single, getting herself over to third with just 1 out.
Now this one is grounded left side, going to be a fair ball.
The line shot hit right at her. I want to give it a base hit. It was hit right at her, kind of off her glove.
Thomas not able to hang on to that one as Steffen reaches on the infield hit to the third baseman. And luckily Beckenstead got back on the bag before Thomas was able to gather the ball and make a tag attempt.
Courtesy runner looks like it's number 8.
For Steffen, the pitcher.
Kirsten Schmidt. And she goes down to second unopposed. So runners at second and third, still 1 out. Madison Welling stepping in there.
The first baseman, Welling, chops this one left side, going to go foul. So Starmont, the 13th place team, getting 14th place was Cedar Rapids, Washington, 15th, Edco, East Buchanan, 16th. As the tournament starts to wind down, Beckman and Crestwood trying to get to the championship game. The other side of that is Independence and Williamsburg. I believe Independence is the guest over here. They're leading 2-0, right?
Yeah. Yep.
As there is a Strike now a ball. 2-2 the count. Here to Madison Welling. Blazers trying to jump on the board first here. Runners on second, third. Swung on, ball in the dirt. Drop third strike. It's by the catcher. One run will score. And on the drop third strike, getting to first base is Madison Welling. As Beckinsett comes in to score the first run of the game, Sydney Steffen will advance over to third. So runners on first and third. And only one away here in this bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, that was a good pitch by Lionheart. Got her to swing at a pitch that dropped down by the plate. And swung and missed, and the catcher unable to block it. Beckinsett came easy from third base and scored. And now the runner from first goes to second. So again, runners are second and third. Good changeup. Swung on and missed. 0-2 to count now on Welling. Jaden Welling.
Beckman was 2-2 in this tournament last year. Good for sixth place. Crestwood 2-2. They finished 10th.
Line drive out in the right center field. Going to plate two. That slides into safely second.
Beckman leading 3-0 now as Schmidt and Welling come across on the 2 RBI hit by Jaden Welling. 3 runs in on 3 hits. Cameron Klaus comes in now. Klaus, check swing, goes all the way to the edge of the circle, fielding it, line hard, firing to first, 1-3, put out number 2. Runner advances to third, Welling. And it's Haley LeGrand, the designated player, standing in now.
And see if they can get that run in from third, even with 2 outs. Done a nice job here in the bottom of the first inning, putting some runs on the board, and that can change the complexion of how this game's played the rest of the way, being down multiple runs instead of still a scoreless tie.
LeGrand is a sophomore, younger sister of Riley LeGrand, outstanding baseball player for the Beckman State Championship team a year ago. There's a little popper left side. Shortstop calls off the left fielder and the third baseman, makes the catch in foul ground. The pop-out ends the inning. As we go to the second, Beckman 3, Crestwood 0. This is area softball Beckman style from KMC Sports.
This is a fun shopping experience for the entire family. Retro candy in the Yes Enjoy gourmet food, coffee and food, top shelf spirits, craft beer and wine, plus a cafe or fire service. Don't Green Apron, Edinburgh. Find them on Facebook.
L4.
And welcome back in. We've had 2 quick outs happen here. Annie Mast, a little bunt in front of the plate. The catcher, Klaus, catching that one as a pop out to the catcher for out number 1, then a line out to the second baseman, Lucas, for out number 2. Hofler, Welling, and McDermott in the outfield for the Blazers. Schmidt, Beckenstead, Lucas, and Welling around the horn. Kloss, the catcher, and Steffen inside the circle. For Beckman, 8-13 team. Class 3A, 57 of 64 Class 3A schools in the state of Iowa. Enrollment of 226. As Crestwood, enrollment of 304. They're 23rd of 64 3A schools. And there is a strikeout to Kaylee Thomas, the third baseman, and a quick 1-2-3 inning. Takes it to the bottom of the second. 3-0. Beckman back after this from KMCH Sports. Welcome back in here to West Delaware Softball Invitational. 8-9-1, Hofler, Schmidt, and Lucas for the Blazers here as they lead this game 3-0. 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 runner left in that first inning. Nothing for Crestwood yet. Team that's been traditionally good. They've been a part of this tournament for years. They have not had a losing season for quite some time. You have to go back to the mid-2000s. Been to state 5 times. The last time the state was 2015 for Crestwood. Three and 2 now the count to Abby Hofler. Abby Hafler stands back in. Count is full, 3 and 2. Swing, and that's going to be a foul ball. And we're back in. What's so funny with you? 3-0 Beckman. This one's popped up right side. Foul ball in the. Oh boy. We haven't had a good one of these in a while. There is strike 3 at the knees. And Hafler will sit down at a backwards K. Keeley Schmidt stands in. Okay. Put your mic on. Okay, there we go.
I'm fine.
Thank you. It's 1 out here in the second inning. Swung on and missed by Keeley Schmidt. The third baseman, number 9 batter, Schmidt. And this one is downstairs. or a ball. Our next game will be the West Delaware Hawks taking on the Cougars of Cascade. Cascade's 10-10. The Hawks are 15-10 on the year. The count is now 2-2. The number 9 batter, Keely Schmidt here. Independence leading in the third inning over Williamsburg. They try to get to the championship contest. 3-0. They lead, just like Beckman leads Crestwood here, 3-0. As a swinging strikeout there by Keely Schmidt for out number 2. Brings up the top of the order, Brooke Lucas now.
Yeah, she had a couple nice pitches in there in that sequence there to Schmidt. Jammed her on the inside, and then on strike 3, she put it off on that outer corner a little bit, broke it off on the edge, and couldn't catch up to it. 2 up, 2 down here by the strikeout here in the bottom of the second inning. First pitch to Lucas is low, ball 1.
Lucas pops this one right side. Second baseman gets over and drops the ball. She's going to try to throw it to first, but not in time. Hustling to first was Lucas on the error by the second baseman there. She was there, had it in her glove, just popped out the last second.
Yeah, she did, and she got a little frustrated. Instead of picking it up right away and throwing it first, Lucas didn't run hard down there. No. Probably could have picked it up and thrown her up, but she didn't really figure that she wasn't running, so kind of a physical error and mental error in the same play.
Now Lucas does not slide at second, just gets in before the tag comes. As Lucas is at second now with Heather Beckenstedt standing in. A hit to right and scored her first out of the first inning. And Jamie Vesky, an update on diamond number 3.
And we go to the bottom of inning number 1. Maquoketa Valley added a run in inning number 1 in the top half as the Wildcats taking on Maquoketa Valley taking on North Fayette Valley for 11th place. And as we go to the bottom of the first inning, Maquoketa Valley leading 1-0.
Thank you, Jamie. As here we're in the bottom of the second, Beckman leading 3-0. Runner goes, catcher, kind of a delayed reaction there. She kind of was peeking around the batter and wondering if she was going, and then she had to step out all the way in front of the plate and throw, but that time, no chance as Lucas steals third.
Yeah, Beckman's obviously seen something here, being able to run, because anytime they get on base, they're running at will. Ground ball, the second baseman misses it, and Bockenstead gets down there plenty easily, beats that out for an error on the second baseman, and the run comes in and scores.
Second error this inning on the second baseman as the runner Lucas comes in to score the 4th run of the game here, the first this inning.
And Lucas stole second and third her last time up, so I would expect her to do the same thing here on pitch 1.
Beckenstedt, you mean?
Yes, there she goes.
Into second base as another stolen base. Over 30 stolen bases, and she has not been thrown out yet on the season for Heather Beckenstedt. Outstanding trackster for Beckman Track and Field. A junior.
She's got third.
Wow.
Done a nice job. 2 pitches, she's over third base, so she did a good job getting on. There's still 2 out, 1 run in here.
There's a ball that misses, 1-1.
There's a pop out to the first baseman who catches it off the bat of Sydney Steffen for out number 3. But Beckman scores 1 run on a couple of errors, 1 left on. Score after 2 complete. Beckman 4, Crestwood 0. You're listening to Hawk Softball on KMCH.
We're back in to the Beckman Sports Complex here in Manchester. The West Delaware Softball Invitational going on. Here from KMCH Sports, Kayla Lentz leads things off here in the top of the third inning. Beckman, the home team, they lead 4-0. 1-1 the count here to Lentz. Nothing allowed besides one hit batter for Steffen so far as we're in the third inning. A slow roller at the edge of the circle. Takes her time, routine play. 1-3 put out Steffen there to the first baseman, Welling. One away. Kristen Reichs now. Standing in.
Beckman's just going to continue to get better as long as Sydney Steffen stays healthy and control out there. They had an awesome year a year ago with just one game away from making the state tournament, went 30-12 on the year. And they had high expectations, were ranked pre-season.
Yes, they were.
They were until Sydney got hurt, and then they had a couple of eighth-grade pitchers getting some experience. Were unable to get as many wins. They had an 8-game losing streak there for a little while. And now playing pretty good softball.
Bouncing ball left side. Third baseman up and over. 5-3 ground out. Schmidt to Welling on that one for out number 2. Lincoln Leinhardt standing in now. Independence still leading 3-0 in the third inning. They try to get to the championship game. The Mustangs have won 2 games. They beat Starmont yesterday. Independence playing their third game of the tournament against Williamsburg. This one is hard grounder right side. Almost got a piece of it, did the pitcher. Steffen, she let it go. The second baseman, Leinhardt, grounds out to Lucas. 4-3 for out number 3. And we're back after this from KMCH Sports.
You expect big hit.
John and Bill back with you from the Beckman Sports Complex. As Beckman, the Blazers leading this game, bottom of the third. Welling, and Kloss now. Middle of the order, 4-5-6 for the Blazers. They lead this game 4-0. And 2-1 now the count to Madison Welling, who struck out but got on the drop third strike in that 3-run first inning. Check swing into the fence right side. And the count is even now 2-2.
And Beckman's done a nice job getting themselves on base. 7 stolen bases already here in just the first 2 innings. Two and two the count as Lionheart steps back, takes a look. Ball inside. Full count to Madison Welling. She struck out her first time up, but was safe at first base as the pitch got away from the catcher.
Strike of the outside corner at the knees froze Welling in a backward K. For out Number 1, Jaden Welling now stands in. The sisters, Jaden, a freshman. Madison, a senior. Swung on a miss, off-speed pitch there. Fooled Jaden. And it's 0-1.
That looks like it's a new catcher. Is that number 12 for the catcher?
It looks like it.
12?
Yeah, it does.
It is a new catcher. It'd be Crislin Rupert. Is in for Kristen Pisney.
Rupert, a sophomore, taking the place.
Ground ball up the middle, gets by the pitcher. Second baseman goes over, tries to get it, misses, and goes out into the outfield. Error on the second baseman. And now with the new catcher, we'll see if Beckman continues to try to run. Cameron Kloss. There's a bunt foul. They tried to advance her via the bunt and foul. Jaden Welling will go back to first.
Kloss grounded out her last time in the first inning. Stands back in here. 1 out, 1 on. We're in the last of the third. Beckman leads this contest 4-0. There's a strike. Waist high on the outer half for strike 1. Strike 2, I should say. 0-2 the count here to Cameron Kloss, the 6th batter in this lineup for Beckman. There's a ground ball left side. Shortstop trying to get the second out. Throw wildly above the head of the first baseman. And not able to get either runner that time. Runners are on first and second. The throwing error by the shortstop.
Yeah, she had the right idea, and coach is calling timeout, coming on and going to try to settle his team down. Right idea, trying to maybe get that lead runner. The base runner got there before the shortstop could get there. I think she thought she could go there by herself. Second baseman didn't get time for a little flip, and then by the time she realized she couldn't get the second in time, tried to waylift to first base, and big overthrow at first to allow Jaden Welling to go to third. So runners at first and third with 1 out, and Haley LeGrand will step in there.
LeGrand popped out to the third baseman, Thomas, her last time in the first. Runners on first and third here, 1 away. Beckman trying to add to their 4-0 lead here in the last of inning number 3. Inside the circle, Leinhardt. This one's a strike in her half. And going to second easily is Klaus. As Leinhardt, the sophomore pitcher, leading pitcher coming into the tournament, a 9-6 record. Foul ball right side, 1.82 ERA. Opponents hitting just 155 against her.
Yeah, she's got some awesome numbers there. For this game, she's down 4-0, but her infield defense has kind of let her down a little bit with 3 errors.
Swing and a miss there. Haley LeGrand strikes out swinging for out number 2. And it's the 4th strikeout now taken by Leinhardt. 2 swinging, 2 looking. Abby Hafler standing in. This is a ground ball into center field. 1 run is in. And Hafler is caught in a rundown. And they're going to get her tagged down before the run scores. Hafler tagged out there before she got back to first. And that's the way the inning ends. As we go to the 4th, Beckman still leading 4-0. Back after this from KMCH Sports.
Precision.
Welcome back in. Upstairs, inside the cool comforts of the air-conditioned press box at Beckman Sports Complex, John Swisher, Bill Logan, Jamie Vasky, Austin West. Whole crew is here. There's a little popper left side as the left fielder able to come in and catch that one.
That's nice communication there, too. The shortstop was going out. It looked like she was going to go for it, but then she heard Hafler call her off and peeled off. And, I like seeing that defensively as great communication.
And this one is a grounder right back to Steffen. She's rolling right along here on the 1-3 put out for out number 2. Only one batter reaching. That was a hit batter. Tisney back in the first.
And she's retired 9 in a row. And not a lot of pitches either. She's been very, very efficient with her pitch count.
She is looking like the Sydney Steffen we saw a year ago that helped Beckman get deep in the postseason. And as Bill said earlier, one went away from the state tournament. Her first time ever in Beckman softball history.
Be anxious to see the pairings come out on Monday and see what they get, with the kind of record and stuff that they've got as to where they're going to go.
Because of the record right now, that losing streak, adversity, losing Steffen for 6 games, probably won't get the greatest draw.
Yeah.
And probably not at home, but they're going to have to fight through it. If they can turn it on and Steffen pitches like this, they're going to be able to make some noise in the tournament no matter where they are. But, you have the chance of running into somebody really good, though, too. And if you're not on that night, there's a little bouncer into left field. Hits the infield dirt. And the left fielder, Hafler, will get in. A 2-out single at Bekanowski. Brings up Annie Mass now.
Yeah, first base hit of the game. Just a nice little looper over the third baseman's head. Clean base hit. No way anybody could get to that one. So, nice job by Bekanowski to break up that no-hitter. Throwing a foul back into the screen by Annie Mass. She popped out to the catcher her last time up.
Fourth batter this inning. Top of the fourth inning. 5-0 in favor of Beckman. West Delaware and Cascade coming up for you next. Right here from KMCH and KMCH.com. Settling back in is Mast.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 for out number 3.
As we go to the bottom of the fourth, 5-0 Beckman. Back after this from KMCH Sports. Back in the Beckman Sports Complex as the number 9 batter, Keely Schmidt, leads things off. It'll be Schmidt, Lucas, and Beckenstead with an 0-2 count here. 5-0 Beckman here in the bottom of the fourth inning. As there's a ball inside off the plate, 1-2. Austin West has a update of the Maquoketa Valley game.
Well, North Fayette Valley is up to bat now here in the bottom of the second inning, and they've just scored their tying run, tying this game at 1-1 with a runner on second. They've only got one out, so they're hoping to bat in a few more runs before this inning is over.
All right, thank you, Austin. As there is strike three looking to Keely Schmidt. As Schmidt goes down, another strikeout victim, 5 now, taken by Leinhardt. Brooke Lucas will be the batter now with 1 away. Ball downstairs and outside.
And Lucas, 0 for 2 officially, grounded out her first time out, reached on an error and scored in the second inning. Their leadoff batter, pop fly to the infield. Third baseman calls it, and she'll catch it. Kaylee Thomas, the third baseman, for out number 2, and that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Heather Beckenstead. She's 1 for 2, singled and scored in the first inning, and reached on an error, got as far as third in the second inning, and 4 stolen bases so far in this contest alone. Puts the bunt down, first baseman stays back, pitcher comes up, picks it up, barehanded, throws down the first for out number 3. Quickly 3 up, 3 down here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Beckman 5, Crestwood 0. You're listening to Hawk Invitational Softball on KMCH.
Back in, top of the 5th. Second hit of the game by Crestwood. Maddie Steffen with a single up the middle into center field. Kaylee Thomas now will stand in.
And see if they can do anything with the second hit. It led off the inning, so now they got a base runner on with nobody out. Last time they got a base hit, there were 2 out. I mean, it's hard to do anything with 2 outs sometimes, but now see if that changes any strategy or anything, how Beckman's going to pitch or defend against the batter, Kaylee Thomas, who was a strikeout victim her first time up. Checking the strap on her batting helmet, I think.
Time is called.
The Independence game over is the other semifinal contest. Independence been ahead 3-0, but Williamsburg scored twice here in the fourth inning, making it 3-2. And they just get a base runner on a swinging bunt, so tying run at third base.
And we have an update from Diamond number 3 with Austin. Go ahead.
Well, since I last updated, North Fayette has scored 3 runs, bringing them to 4 runs in the bottom of the second, going into the top of the third now. They now lead this game 4-1.
5-0 here. Beckman, there's a liner right side past the efforting first baseman in foul territory. 5-0 Beckman, top of inning number 5. Runner on, nobody out. Kaylee Thomas standing in. And Thomas taking some swings out of the batter's box here. After the count is now 3-1. Pitch on the way. And swung on and is for strike 2. Full count now. Stuffing the runner on first. This ball is popped up left side. And shortstop Beckenstedt comes in and puts it away. Round number 1, Kayla Lentz standing in now.
Yeah, and been trailing by 5 runs, even with that run on first base, kind of takes away a little bit of offense. They're not willing to sacrifice that runner to second to maybe get the runner scoring position by giving up the out. You'll gamble. There's a ground ball, third baseman. Keely Schmidt picks it up and throws over to first. The runner first advances to second. But Lenz grounds out 5-3 for out number 2. And then that'll bring up the new catcher, which is Crislin Rupert, her first time at bat.
Placing the previous catcher, Kristen Reichs. Foul ball left side. Crislin, never seen that one before. Krysslynn. Crislin.
Well, grounder right back to the pitcher. Sydney Steffen picks it up, throws over to first. We're out number 3.
And it's still 5-0 Beckman to the last of the 5th we go from KMCH Sports. Welcome back in. A fly out to center field. Start this bottom of the 5th inning. Sydney Steffen retired. Addison Welling now in. Welling.
Oh, heads up. Oh, just what's going on the other diamond.
Just went on that Hawkeye tent. That's to the left of the Seedorf Masonry, the main field here, where the championship game will be held. Coming up later tonight, scheduled for 5:45 in a couple hours from now. There's a hit batter. Welling takes it on the left arm. Brings up Jaden Welling now. There is 1 away. Bottom of inning number 5. 5-0 is the lead. One is 52 minutes old. Upstairs, throw down, sliding in safely, not able to hold on to the ball. Probably would have been there anyway, was Welling. She gets in on the stolen base. It's Jaden Stands back in.
8th stolen base of the game for the Blazers.
Wow.
That led to some of the runs there early in the contest. They scored 3 in the first and 1 in the second.
Beckenstead has, what, 4 of them?
Yes.
So on Sky left side, going to go foul. And, she went in. That gate was open, and she almost fell in the dugout, caught herself on the fence to the third baseman, Thomas. Hopefully she's okay.
Had a lot of people come to help her there.
Wasn't a whole lot of movement, was there?
No, there wasn't.
There's a little grounder back to the pitcher. Throw over. Thomas couldn't handle the low fastball from the pitcher Linehart and not able to tag the runner. So Welling reaches on the fielder's choice.
And that's one of those ones. Right idea. As a pitcher, I want to get the lead runner out. Did a good job picking up over there, but third baseman wasn't really probably as close to the base as she probably should have been. Throw over there, it was a low throw, and Welling able to get over there as a third baseman. Thomas unable to come up with it. So runners at first and third, 1 out.
Pitch inside off the plate.
Jaden Welling goes down to second. So Madison Welling at third, Jaden Welling at second.
That's on a little check swing into shallow left field. 1 run is in. And trying to go to second, she will. Good aggressive base running by Cameron Kloss. Coach Meisner talking to him before the game. He was really excited about the future of the 8th grader, Cameron Kloss, coming in batting .320. An RBI for her there. It's 6-0 now. Runners on second and third. Beckman, the liner left side. We're going to have a double play. The runner getting in a run down will be tagged out.
That's 3 outs, girl.
Yep, I was going to say, that lost
focus there for a minute.
As Haley LeGrand hits into the double play. But the Blazers add a run to the 6th we go. 6-0 Beckman. Back after this from KMC Sports. John and Bill back with you, along with Jamie and Austin here in the press box at the Beckman Sports Complex as Ashley Voves will check that. Mike Linehart will lead things off here in this top of the 6th inning. 6-0 Beckman, 1-2 the count here. Linehart, pitcher of record for the Cadets, is 0 for 2. Round out to short in the first and to second in the third. And that time, a ground out to the pitcher. 1-3. So clearly written. And sign language for out number 1, yes. Ashley Voves now will stand in 0 for 2.
I got a feeling we might have a pinch hitter maybe. Yeah, number 5.
Yep.
Shelby Pisney. She's been the flex player playing left field.
Yep. So Pisney will get a chance to bat here. She comes into the tournament. Sophomore, 500 hitter, only 4 at bats coming into this weekend. A strike taken there on the count. Stefan rolling right along here, swinging a miss. Helping her out that time was Pisney. This one's high. Good idea there. 0-2 pitch. 1-2 now. Only 2 hits given up. Only 3 base runners total. The other one was a hit batter back in the first, allowed by Stefan. Crestwood has left 3 on. There's a strikeout. Looking by Pisney, and now Shannon Pisney will stand in with 2 away, top of the 6th. Going to be crunch time here for Crestwood. They're down to their final 4 outs now. 6-0, Beckman the advantage. Little tapper off the end of the bat right side, be a foul ball.
3-3 game over here. Independence in Williamsburg.
That Williamsburg coming back after down 3-0 against Independence. The fight for a championship spot. We'll meet the winner of this one here, Beckman or Crestwood. Skies it right side off the bat of Pisney. The right fielder McDermott is there, puts it away. The F9 for out number 3. And we go to the bottom of the inning number 6. 6-0 back after this from KMCH Sports. Back into the Beckman Sports Complex. At the bottom of the 6th inning now, 6-0 new pitcher in the circle for Crestwood. As Hallie Frone is on, we take a look at numbers of her junior. This is only her 2nd appearance coming in here, just one inning pitch. So Coach Doug Sickles going deep into his pitching staff here as there's the first out of the inning, a pop out to the shortstop off the bat of Abby Hafler. Round number 1, Keely Schmidt now will stand in.
Williamsburg's gone ahead here in the 5th inning. 4-3 now over Independence.
Ball inside. Off the point for ball 1. 1-0 to count. There's a strike taken. Of the knees inside corner. And we're even 1-1. Ball in the dirt. And bounces past the catcher. 2 balls and 1 strike. This one misses upstairs. Ball 3, 3-1. Bouncing ball right side. And it's 3-2. Long look in by Frone here. Hard grounder left side. And Coach Meisner does a little 2-step out of the way in the third base coaching box. Ryan Meisner, a teacher, math teacher at Beckman Catholic High School. Here's a little popper. Good effort by the catcher, but foul ball. Keely Schmidt back in there. And this one grounded left side. And the 6-3 ground out. And we'll take a break. Back into this from KFCH Sports.
Each small engine.
Back in, Brooke Lucas draws a walk with 2 down here in the 6th. A little popper right side, and Frone comes in, cannot, that's going to be a foul ball. Cannot make the catch. That's tough play for the pitcher coming in, but not much better for the the catcher, the first baseman, cannot get in there. So new life here for Heather Beckenstead.
Yeah, it wasn't hit very high or very far, but the catcher was looking for some help, so she backed off and let the pitcher get to it. She couldn't quite get to it, so landed in foul territory, so it'll just go as a regular old foul ball.
There's a foul ball off the foot of Beckenstead. Out number 2. 2 outs here, I should say, with a strike number 2. 1 and 2 the count. As Independence trailing 4-3, right?
4-3, but they've got runners at first and second with no outs here in the top of the 6th.
This one fouled back to the netting right down in front of us.
Oh, there it is. It ended up over there.
Ah. One ball, 2 strikes. Foul ball left side.
Independence bases loaded now. Nobody out in the top of the 6th.
Williamsburg calling time. They'll have a meeting inside the circle. There's 1 and 2, the count. This one skied in the infield. Behind second base, shortstop. And the second baseman almost collide there. And the second baseman calls her off at the last second. Pop out for out number 3. As we go to the 7th, Beckman leads 6-0. Back after this from KMCH Sports. And we're back in, top of the 7th inning. Beckman leading 6-0. Little bunt behind the catcher, and she couldn't find it. Trying to get around the umpire, Al Stoltz. That's a tall figure to try to get around.
That is, and then they both kind of went the same direction, so it was pretty tough. Well, it might have been maybe have been able to get to it, but Cameron Klaas unable to do that.
Al Stoltz, one of the good ones for sure. Just a nice guy, genuine, just a great guy. He's a Cubs fan, too, so that makes him even better.
Not quite as outstanding as I thought.
You didn't know that about him.
I did not know that.
As the 1-2 pitch swung on but dropped and now tagged out. A strikeout there starts the 7th inning. We have an update on field number 3. Austin West, take it away. It's not on.
Top of the 4th inning, Maquoketa Valley was able to score 1 run, bringing their score to 2. And now here in the bottom of the 4th, North Fayette Valley has already scored 1 with only 1 out. So they're hoping to put that score even up higher as they lead 5-2 in this game.
All right. Thank you very much, Austin. As a left-handed batter, Annie Mass stands in here, 1 out. There's a ball outside low.
That is actually a pinch hitter, number 17.
Yeah, that is not Maddie Steffen, is it?
Trista
Foster. So Foster getting the pitch hit opportunity here. here for Annie Mast. Too far outside of that one. And the count is now 3-1. One down here in the seventh. Ball downstairs there for ball 4. And Foster comes in and draws the one-out walk. Now this will be Stefan, correct? No, another pinch hitter.
Another pinch hitter.
This is 45, Kim Hauber, getting the opportunity. And you like to see this from Coach Sickles, getting some of these girls. It's 6-0.
Yep.
The game's most likely out of hand. It's going to take a lot. You haven't been able to touch Stefan all day. And get some of these other girls that made the trip with you and on the bench and see what they can do. And just like Foster, she was able to go up there and have a patient eye and earn herself a walk.
Yeah, these girls really appreciate it when they get in to be able to take a swing at the at-bat. Maybe being a courtesy runner, or I'm the backup infielder or the backup catcher, or, whatever it is. They just love to get in there and hit.
1-2, swung on upstairs for strike number 3. Swinging K, round number 2. Brings up, let's see, another one.
That's another pinch hitter.
A single pinch it appears. And it is number 1. And that is Keely Andura. Keely Andura. Andura?
Yeah, that's what we're going to call her today.
Andura here for Kaylee Thomas. 2 outs, runner on first. This is a ground ball right back to the pitcher. Stefan has plenty of time. She'll take it. 1-3 put out for round number 3. And this game is in the books as the Blazers get the victory by the final score of 6-0. Quick post game coming up here where we get ready for another game. We might have some time to wait as Blazers improve their record to 9-13. They drop Crestwood at 12-8. We're back after this from KMCH Sports. Welcome back in. Post game. Beckman gets the win. as the Blazers improve the record to 9-13. 6-0. Great effort by the Blazers here, Bill.
Yes, it was. Sydney Steffen pitched a nice game. She pitched a 2-hitter, no runs on 2 hits, no Beckman errors. They left 4 on base. Sydney struck out 5, walked 1, and hit 1. So an outstanding effort there by Sydney, and they get themselves into the championship game against the winner of Independence Williamsburg, which is 4-4 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
And Jamie's got an update.
Yeah, steal my thunder, Bill, would you?
Well, yeah.
As Williamsburg walked in an Independence runner there in the top of inning number 6, and as Bill said, 4-4 here as we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Williamsburg is the home team in this ball game. Mackenzie Hupke still in the pitching circle for Independence. So yeah, in the top of the 6th inning, Independence gets a run on a bases-loaded walk from the pitcher for Williamsburg, as this game is now tied as we're here in the bottom of inning number 6.
Austin, anything new on Diamond 3?
Nothing new coming from over here. We're at the top of the 5th. We got a runner on 1st and 3rd now, no outs, and Macocas Valley's up to bat again, so they're hoping to score here.
That Diamond 3 is where our next game will be, West Delaware and Cascade. So we'll have some time to wait here. We'll send it back to Sheila McMahon in the studio and have some music for you until we will take it back here. We'll update you when we come back and get ready for that game, West Delaware and the Cascade Cougars coming up here, as this is the 2018 West Delaware Softball Invitational from KMCH Sports.